Welcome to the ladies' dressing room. Today I am going to be sharing my everyday makeup routine with you. Now this is a rare treat because I think I've only ever shared a full face makeup routine about 2 months ago on my other channel, which I didn't even talk through it or anything. It was very silent, and it was quite a milestone for me because this is something that I said I would never do, but never say never. So I have a few reasons for that. The biggest reason is because I really treat YouTube as my job, and also just the way that I would show up for people in my real life. Like if I meet a friend for, you know, a little bit of time together, or if I go to the grocery store, anything, I always have my makeup on. I just do. I don't feel like I'm ready for the day without it. I don't feel like I smile as much, or I don't feel like I raise my eyes to others if I don't have my makeup on. Now, I think it's really a comfort thing and just feeling as if I've done what I could do to get myself ready for the day. It's kind of like showering to me. I don't feel my best if I have not showered in the morning before I get ready. And the same holds true when it comes to makeup. If you were to ask me, would I rather have makeup every day that I put on or a closet full of dresses, I would say I would rather put my makeup on every day, because that is something that brings me comfort. And like I said, I don't feel like I'm ready if I haven't put my face on. But that's just me. Every lady is different, and to each her own. So let's just begin with what I start with. And also, I would like to preface this by saying that I do not claim to be an expert when it comes to makeup. I have the same products until I use them, and I really try to keep everything very minimal when it comes to what I have in my makeup drawer. And sometimes I will find something new. Maybe my daughter will share something with me and I will try it, but I'm not one of those ladies that loves to try a lot of different makeup. I want to find something that works for me and then just use that, and I don't want to have a lot of clutter in my drawer. I just want what I use on an everyday basis to be there for me and to use it well. So I'm not one who likes to watch like makeup tutorials or just to get better at doing it. It's something that, and maybe that seems so limited minded, or narrow minded probably is a better word for that. But it's just one of those things that I'm not really interested in, I guess. And I like to have my makeup on every day, but I don't research stuff about makeup or how to apply something better. And as I age, I'm sure that I probably will. So, you know, then it will be more focused on those over a certain age or something and the best products. So anyway, I am going to use Hourglass, and this is in cream or creme. It might be creme. So I just put that on. I have a lot of sunspots on my face, and the other month I was using this cream that I got from the dermatologist. And then I use a beauty blender to blend that in. And this Lumi Glotion, I've been using this, although I do from time to time, oh no, I didn't throw it away. Before that I was using the e.l.f. Oh my gosh, it's in Zero Fair. I've been using that, but I need to get more of it because I have used all of it at this point. Okay, I'm gonna try not to keep moving my drawer in and out. So I've been using the Lumi Glotion by L'Oreal Paris, and this is 901 Fair Glow. So this kind of just helps everything to smooth out with like a little bit of sheen to it instead of, or a little bit of a glow to it instead of just the matte that Hourglass has. And I don't know, it just looks a little bit more like glowing skin to me. So anyway, I just kind of use that around, and then I dab this around. So what I was saying was that at the dermatologist, I was complaining about the sunspots that I had that magically appear after a certain age, and all of the horrible sun damage that I had from when I was a kid, I feel, and didn't really care about putting sunscreen on or anything like that. All of that has started to come out. And not to mention, on the side of my face here, I think it's probably the worst on this side, and that's because you know, driving, I think that this got a lot more sun, and that's why it's so important to wear your sunscreen every day. So also, I will be sharing my favorite products that I like to use, like moisturizers and all that kind of stuff, in tomorrow's video, so please come back tomorrow for that. Maybe it would have been better if I started with that, but we're starting with the everyday makeup because that's what I'm doing today. So back to what the dermatologist gave me because of the sunspots. He gave me a, now I'm forgetting what it was called, but it was a chemotherapy agent. That's what it's called. And that just destroyed my skin. Obviously, that's what it's supposed to do. I mean, it kills different cells, you know, the bad ones. It's supposed to bring out all of the bad stuff. It's supposed to bring that out. And yeah, it did that. I will say that. It was not pretty. And then it was kind of like a chemical peel, I would say. That's what it felt like. Although that I've never had a chemical peel, but that's what I would consider it to be. Just my face was a mess and cracky, and it was just so tight and flaky, and it was just really ugly, and it was hard to wear my makeup over it. But I still wanted to, you know, do my everyday makeup. I asked him if I could wear my makeup over it, and he said yeah. But he didn't say, well, yeah, but it's going to look horrible. So I managed though, and I think the product said to use it for 4 days, I believe, and then you're supposed to let it rest for 2 weeks. And then I said, I'm not doing that again, not unless I really have to. And the other thing that I did was I kind of used it like a lotion all around, and I probably should not have done that. And it really rested right here underneath, like in my chin area. And yeah, that I feel like I will do a more targeted treatment next time if I need to use it again. So we will just have to see. But yes, I have plenty of sun damage, and like so many of us, and especially when one has fair skin, it's kind of inevitable if you had seen the light of day. So, and you know, if you didn't take the best care of your skin when you were younger. So we're moving on to the next. That would be the, is it Morphe or Morph? I don't know. Morphe, maybe. I think that's what I've heard people call it. This is a brightener, and so it's this really light pink color, and my daughter showed me this. And originally it was just to pat under my eyes to brighten them up, but I don't like to put too much powder under there because then it just looks like it enhances my crepey skin under my eyes. So I just use it around my eyes lightly to be able to kind of have, I use it kind of like a setting powder. That's what I do. I had something else before, but now that's fine. I make do sometimes, okay, with products. Like I said, I don't research any of this stuff. Next, I think we're going to use pinks. So depending on what color I'm going to be wearing for the day, I will usually go with more of a peachy tone or a pink tone when it comes to my blush and my eyeshadow. So since I am going to be wearing a dress with pink in it, I thought that I would put on some pink today because I feel like the peachy tone would really clash with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is use this eyeshadow palette, which is by Maybelline New York. It's the Blushed Nudes. I think that it's still available as well. And I have been using this pinkish mauve color over here. And it just gives a little bit of color above my eyes. So I just, not much. I'm not looking for much. I just want to have a little bit just to, you know, kind of break up just the pale skin. That's all. And then I will use this blush by Milani in oh no, it's called Sparkling Rose. Sparkling Rosé, not Sparkling Rose. We need to be proper in our pronunciation. So then I just dab a little bit. This is very pigmented, by the way, so my daughter said I need to, you know, tap it right there on my hand there. So I do that and then just apply my blush. And while we're on the topic of pink, I am going to share today's dress of the day with you, which is this beautiful dress. Beautiful. I found it at TJ Maxx, and it is by this brand right here. I'm not remembering what the brand is, so I'm going to say it's this brand right here. And it has this beautiful chiffon overlay to it. And it is like a dress that I might want to wear to a garden party or to a wedding. As a wedding guest, that would be such a pretty dress to wear. A baby shower, a bridal shower, something fun like that. I feel like it's a dress that you could really dress up, but it's also a dress that one could just wear around the house and feel so beautiful in it. And I don't think that we should save these kind of dresses for a special occasion like that. So I feel like it's appropriate enough to be able to wear on an everyday basis, but I'm not saying that everyone would feel comfortable wearing it on an everyday basis. I would have fun wearing it. But yes, I can see how some would feel a little inappropriate wearing a dress like that just anywhere, maybe grocery shopping or, you know, yeah. But it's fun. And I had wanted to add a few more dresses to my collection that were kind of like this, that leaned more toward something that I would feel excited to put on if I were to be, you know, going to a special event like that, or even just a birthday party or something. So now I have this dress. I like the floral print. I feel that the floral print of this dress is the perfect size for me. And the sleeves are beautiful, and you do have to be very mindful of whatever undergarments you're wearing under this dress. So there is that downside to it. But it's a beautiful dress, and I feel like I don't have that much pink when it comes to my dress collection, surprisingly, but it's really hard for me to find a pink that I enjoy. And this checked all the boxes, I feel, when it came to just that princessy, girly. I know we want to be more womanly, right? And more ladylike, but this is just a side of me, that romantic side that I really love to lean into from time to time. And so it's fun to have those options. We like to have options here in the ladies' dressing room. So after I apply the blush, I do like to kind of blend things in with this big brush. This is my blending brush. And then comes the fun part, the most transformative part. It's the most important to me. So I need to push this in a little bit because I'm leaning weird. So the part I dislike the most is putting my eyebrows on. I don't know why. I just don't like to do it, but I get it out of the way before I do the fun part to me, which is the eyeliner and the mascara. So I will curl my lashes. Ooh, that's not a fun part either, but curling the lashes. I've had eyelash curlers where the eyelashes in the corner of the eyes got stuck in there. Oh, that is the worst. And then they pull out and oh, it hurts. It makes your eyes water. Okay, so now we're going to try to put on. Here's the funny thing about this, okay? I'm looking at you right there, but I can't see me. This is all an illusion, okay, of what this is all for you that I'm doing this. So I have to not be very close when I'm applying this right now, and usually I use this mirror right here and that up close one, although sometimes that magnifying one does not lie, and it tells you, it screams at you what everything is looking like, and it's great for not having to get too close, but it gets super close to you, and I don't want to see all that. I guess I kind of like to lie to myself about what I look like. If I'm this far away, then I feel like, okay, this is the distance that most people are to you. So if it looks good from here, then we're good. I don't get too detailed here. So I just pencil in my eyebrows because once upon a time when I was younger, in my teens, I think I was 13 or something, we started plucking our eyebrows, myself and my friend, and it was her influence that made me do this. And it was just like you're trying to copy like the popular, you know, girls in the magazine or whatever, and you're trying to follow it and you have no idea what you're doing. And then I just feel like I messed everything up for my life when it came to my eyebrows. But here we are, and we're thankful. We're so thankful for eyebrow pencils. So then there's a little spoolie on the end of this, which just helps me to blend. And you know what? Something that we should do is I should film my daughter doing my makeup. She is wonderful, wonderful at doing my eyebrows. She's just like this expert, and this is my youngest daughter. She's an expert at makeup. I could see her doing makeup for others when she gets older. She's just so good at it, and she knows all the products. She's the one that does the research on all that kind of stuff, or watches those kind of videos. And I don't know, I just don't have the patience for it. And two, I also feel like with influencers, or what I've seen of a lot that are in front of the camera, they have special lighting. My only lighting right here is this, the window, my candle, and then I do have a candle warmer behind this mirror here just to light up the wall, basically behind it. But you know, influencers sometimes use like ring lights or special lighting to soften everything. They look like they have absolutely no pores. and they can be really close to the camera. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't share that. That is just not, I don't know. I've just never been into all of that. I'd rather use natural light. Now I will increase the exposure of my camera just because I feel like that's more for aesthetic purposes, like, you know, lighting a room and everything. But anyway, yeah, it's difficult. Okay, we need to get back. We need to circle back here about the lighting. It is so difficult to trust what you see online, especially with influencers and makeup and whatnot, because they use special lighting, and then you have to think about, how will something look in real life when I am outside? Because if you're not using natural light when you're putting your makeup on, get ready. Get ready for what you're gonna see in the light if you happen to look at yourself. And just remember, that's what everybody really sees of you. So anyway, I'm pretty, I say minimal, but my mom would laugh because she wears no makeup and she's minimal when it comes to makeup. So what I mean to say is, I like specific things in my routine that I do. I'm not always really married to a certain product, but there can definitely be products that I don't feel do a great job, and then I don't go back to them. I have been, oh, and I didn't even share this. Okay, eyebrow pencil. Oh, and by the way, everything that I am using, if I can find a link to it, I will link it in my description box below. And from this point on, I will try to always have my everyday makeup linked in my description box below. So the brow pencil is by Express Brow by Maybelline, New York, and this is in the color 257 medium brown. And then my eyeliner, which is one that just it's just one that, you know, a mechanical one. This one is by Unstoppable, Maybelline New York Unstoppable Cinnabar. So I think that that's the name of the color, is Cinnabar. I'll try to link everything down below for you. So I stopped doing winged eyeliner for a while because someone said something to my daughter about how bad it looked that I was doing that, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I looked at myself and I was thinking, okay, your eyes are looking a little older, you know, and that sometimes means you need to change your application, the products that you're using, something. So I used to use black. It was the liquid black eyeliner that would not smudge. And now I can't remember what it was called. But I used to use that one, and it did a really good job. And I would say that it really did bring out my eyes. However, in the sunlight, right, it tells another story. And then when my skin started changing on my eyelid, they were right. They were right. I can admit it. It didn't look good. So then I tried to go the opposite way and not do the winged eyeliner anymore. And here's the fun part. This is the best part to me, is the mascara. This is the most life-changing part of my morning routine right here. I joke, okay? Obviously that's not the most life-changing thing, but it does really lift my eyes, I feel, in addition to the eyeliner, because I'm very pale and all of my features kind of blend together. Everything is light, And so this is where it would enhance my eyes, and, or I should say define them the most, is by doing this. So you gotta be careful, don't touch your eye. So yeah, I stopped wearing the wing eyeliner, kind of did just to the edge, an eyeliner just to the edge, and I had changed what I was using. I was no longer using black. I wanted to go a little softer. And so this one woman that was a subscriber of mine, who unfortunately has since passed away, she told me about, I just always really admired her, the way that she did her makeup, and I had met her in person a couple of times. But she had a beautiful brown eyeliner that she was using, and I can't remember which one it was that she was using, but I just will never forget like the way that it looked on her. And you know, I asked her about that when we were together, and she just said she goes with brown because it's softer. She had coloring more like mine, and then it just looked so good. And so that was something that I started thinking about when I wanted to change things up. So as we age, sometimes that means that we need to change some of the colors that we're using. We're trying to go a little softer, not so harsh with some things. And that's what I did. And I've been pleased with it. And then I brought my winged eyeliner back because I really feel that I like the way that it shapes my eye more. And I'm kind of mindful of, you know, just the way that I do it, I guess. And I don't really have any wonderful words for you about how I do it. I just do it. And I try to keep that line very thin. Sometimes I use the tip of my finger to bring it out, and for it to have a nice point at the end, and for it to kind of just fade off into the sunset of the right there, like, and pointing it toward the end of my eyebrow. Maybe that's what I do. But I also don't want it to be as thick as I used to make it. So I try to go a little thinner, and for it to be a lot more subtle as it fades off. And I think that it's a better look than what I used to have. Although when you go back to those older videos on my other channel, my eyes definitely looked a lot more pronounced, I would say. And part of that is because of, you know, the makeup that I use. But nowadays, even though it might like really enhance them, in real life it wouldn't look good. And that's the thing to remember, that a lot of these influencers that you see, you know, doing their makeup and whatnot, it can look really great on camera, but in real life they wouldn't look that great. And I don't think that having like a cakey faced, you know, really heavy eye makeup, especially as we get older, is the best thing. So that's just something to keep in mind. So then I do put a little bit on the bottom lashes as well. And this, by the way, is Paradise Big Deal by L'Oreal Paris. I really do like L'Oreal's products. And I can be very loyal to a brand per se. If it works for me, I'll be loyal until I find the next thing that, you know, my daughter gives me and it works better or something. But I'm not always in the market. I'm not always looking. So I just want it to work. And that's about it. Okay, so the other thing too that I really like have a hard time with is packaging. So if something is really ugly to me and I don't like it, I'll try to find an alternative. If at all possible, I'm very heavily influenced by packaging. Let's just say that. So I look for things that also look pretty. Now, if it doesn't work, that doesn't mean that I'm going to keep using it. I'm just saying that I will choose something that looks pretty over something that doesn't. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't care how great something is necessarily. It just kind of has to work for me. That's all. I don't know a better way to put that. There has been makeup that I have stopped using and that did work for me for the time, but I stopped using it because of the vulgar names that they used for whatever color it was, for instance, or whatever product it was, as well as just that it wasn't a really beautiful, it wasn't in beautiful packaging. Now I know that there are brands that like really focus on the packaging and it's really beautiful. Is Flower Nose, I think Flower Nose, that might be what it's called. I'm remembering this from way back when I first learned about it. They have some pretty packaging. I like the vintage looking packaging or just things like that, but anyway, that doesn't mean that I'm going to get it. I'm just saying I try to find something that will look pretty too when I open my drawer, and you know, I like the blush tones, the golds. That's what I look for, as you can tell with my dressing table spread. Now finally, the finishing touch, which is my lipstick, which is by L'Oreal Paris as well. And I have several different lipsticks by L'Oreal Paris, but this is the one that I just keep on my dressing table. And it's something that goes with just about anything that I wear. And this is in Saucy Mauve. So, I don't want to close this all the way. So depending on what I'm wearing, sometimes I will do it rather light and other times I will, you know, just put it on fully. I've also been mixing it with 782 L'Oreal Paris Color Rich Toffee to Be. And this has more of like an orangey tone to it, I feel. But sometimes if I really want, you know, my lips to look nice and plump, sometimes I will go just right on the line. Sometimes slightly over, just a little bit, depending, you know. We don't want to get too crazy with that because that too can be very obvious and look really messy. I don't like how messy it can look when one really overlines their lips. But as we get older, our lips tend to thin a little more, and I've been experiencing that a little. And so I feel like, well, this has kind of rounded them out a bit. Very mindful of the corners. You don't want, you know, weird. I always think of like a clown, how it's like really rounded. You want your corners to go in. And that's that. That is my everyday makeup routine. And if I weren't sitting here talking to you, this would have probably taken me 5 minutes. And I love having something so short like that for something that can be rather tedious that you would do. And then of course, you know, put on a little, which we've already discussed, signature scents. But that's it. That is what I do, and it has served me very well. I would say I enjoy this time. It's not something that I rush through. I love not having to, you know, pour out a makeup bag, which we've discussed that in another video as well. But, and the reason, you know, having a dressing table, but it's just nice to have this routine that I go through, to not feel like I constantly have to add to what it is that I use all the time. I feel like that would be really overwhelming to me. Kind of like how some of you might feel very overwhelmed if you had as many dresses as I have had, or you know, all the different areas. It's like I feel that each of us has those little things, especially if we really enjoy the process of getting ready. We have those little things that we like to maybe indulge in, overindulge in some ways. For me, it's definitely dresses and nightwear. But all these other areas, I like to keep things really simple. So if you would like to share with me what you use for your everyday makeup routine, I would love to know that in the comments below. And how long does it take you to do your makeup? This is not a competition, mind you. I would just love to know. And especially with just, even if you just want to put how many products you use on a daily basis for your everyday makeup routine, that would be helpful as well. Today's dressing space comes from Amber. She said, "This is one of my favorite areas in my bedroom. Although it is a shared space that houses my husband's items like his watch box and cologne, my eye is always drawn to my jewelry and the beautiful hues of my perfume bottles. The gold frame picture is a print of a lady tending to sheep. It often leads me to daydream about living on a farm in Scotland one day. When I approach this space, I am usually preparing to go out. It serves as my finishing touches station, where I put on my jewelry and perfume. While we don't have enough room for a full dressing table, this was a great opportunity to make the most of a small area and truly make it my own." This really is such a special space, Amber, and I know what you mean about your eye being drawn to those beautiful hues. I couldn't agree more, and I love the way those bottles, those colors, what a wonderful thing to have a picture of something that you could daydream about. That gives me so many different ideas, and I think that this really does and will. It inspired me, so I know that it will inspire so many other ladies. Thank you so much, Amber, for sharing your space with us. And if you would like to share your dressing space, and I have a lot of other dressing spaces that are waiting to be shared as well, which is so exciting. By the way, I'm so grateful to all of you for sending in, those of you who have sent in your dressing space. This has just been wonderful to me to have this kind of feedback from you and the participation. It just really means so much to me. But if you have yet to send in your picture, I hope that you will. You can email me at inspiredbynikkiyt@gmail.com, and all of the things that you would need to know about submitting a photo I have in my description box below. If you would please read that before you do. Thank you for being here with me today, and I really hope that something in today's video inspired you in some way and that you will choose beauty every day.